This show was not very well received, and I think that there were some episodes that were definitely weaker than others. The finale comes to mind, and the wedding episode certainly comes to mind. But honestly, and I have been ridiculed by the comic book movie community for this, but I liked the show overall. I didn't think it was horrible by any stretch of the means. You know, it was kind of sold to us as this comedic law show, and that's exactly what it was. Some people complain that there wasn't enough action, and I can totally see that point. But for what it was, I thought it was great. I love the cameos in each and every episode that we got. We got Wong in one episode, and it was absolutely hilarious. We actually got Wong in 2 episodes. I, more than anyone, was very, very nervous about the MCU bringing back Daredevil as played by Charlie Cox. I thought they were going to completely ruin this character, and of course he's not as dark as he was in the Netflix TV show, but they made it work, to me at least, honestly. Like, I think that, yeah, sure, he's a little more jokey, but at the same time, he doesn't lose that oomph that he had in the Netflix show. Kind of unlike the Kingpin from what we've seen so far. The Kingpin, to me, has not made the transition as good as Matt Murdock did in this She-Hulk show so far. But yeah, I understand the complaints about the special effects, and yes, the special effects look really bad in the earlier episodes. Hopefully that's something that Marvel and Disney Plus will go back and patch. It's crazy that we're using that terminology these days with a television show, but it is what it is. I mean, it's on the streaming service. They can certainly go back and do that if they so choose. I don't know if it would financially make any sense at this point, but it could still happen. Who knows? And the special effects did, at least in my opinion, get visibly better with each and every episode, especially once we got to the finale. I thought the She-Hulk looks really good in the finale. Like I said, though, there were some stumbles here. The wedding episode, to me, just felt so out of place. And perhaps because it was just such a girly concept and lots of comedy that might have been aimed at a female audience, maybe that's why it kind of lost me. But like I said, I have loved this show. I thought it was great. The comedy was funny. Some people said that they didn't like the comedy. I honestly laughed a lot during this show. And some people complained that there were too much feminism themes. And I get that complaint and I get that argument. But at the same time, you have to realize that this is kind of where She-Hulk is coming from her perspective. So of course, just like I think I'm always right, although I'm not, it's probably the same thing with She-Hulk and Jennifer Walters here in this show. In her mind, she's right. Her cousin, Bruce Banner, is wrong. And I also thought that they handled that fight between Bruce and Jennifer very well. Yeah, one could argue that Jennifer Walters beat the Hulk, but honestly, like, to me, it was more like a stalemate, and the Hulk or Bruce Banner just kind of like he was toying with a younger sibling, but it just didn't feel like a straight up Hulk getting owned by Jennifer Walters situation, at least to me. That's the thing that some of us Marvel and just comic book movie fans in general have to keep in mind, that every Disney Plus show and every MCU film can't be the Avengers. Like I said, there was some really cool cameos here. We got Daredevil, we got Wong, we got the Incredible Hulk. But at the end of the day, this is not going to be just like every other Marvel movie and show out there. They have to mix things up just a little bit. Variety. And if you watch this show and realize that concept, it can be very fun. But if you have this set of expectations in your brain before you even go into it, and the show doesn't do everything exactly the way you want it to be, then of course you're going to be disappointed. I know that we're all different. We all have different tastes and opinions about films and TV. And that's the beauty of it, right? Films and television are subjective. But at the end of the day, like I said, I really had a good time with this show. If I had to give it a rating, I would give it a 7.5. It's definitely not Marvel's best project by any stretch of the means, but there was a lot of fun to be had here. In the finale, I think they tried to lean too hard into the fourth wall breaking, and a lot of the fourth wall breaking in the finale for me personally just did not work, but it didn't ruin the show for me. Like I said, the show is just supposed to be a dumb, fun, silly lawyer show. It's kind of like a weekly episodic show that lasts. Each episode is like 30 minutes. So I'm not expecting to have my brains blown out of my head by some of the content that we're getting here. For what the show was, it worked pretty well for me. Like I said, it's not my absolute favorite, but I thought that overall it was well done. What do you guys think? I'm sure I'm going to get lit up in the comments, but that's okay. Let me know what you think down below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Check us out on TikTok at Real Comic Book Cinema. Check us out on Instagram at Real Comic Book Cinema. And don't forget to go over to Facebook and check us out there as well. Thanks for joining me, and until next time, have a good one.